Welcome to Tiny Marketing. This is Sarah Noel Block, and this is the podcast that helps B2B service businesses do more with less. Learn lean, actionable, organic marketing strategies you can implement today. No fluff, just powerful growth tactics that work. Ready to scale smarter? Hit that subscribe button and start growing your business with Tiny Marketing. Hello. I am Sarah Noel Block, and this is the Tiny Marketing Show. We are on episode 130 something. I should have looked before I hit record, but here we are. I am recording, and I don't know the episode number, but I do know the topic. So let's talk about that. Today, I have Tracy Beavers, and she is talking all about how to build your email list in a really creative way. So she is using a combination of a few different strategies that we've talked about over the years to combine into an email list growth strategy that's a complete hack. So if you are listening to this or watching this right now and you're like, I'm sitting here and I have my sad little list and nobody to email, this is the episode for you because she is breaking down a very simple strategy to be able to grow your email list so much faster. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm Tracy Beavers. I'm a business and sales coach from Little Rock, Arkansas. And my story is that about 7 years ago, I got completely fed up with my corporate career, which I never thought would happen. And I had a plan to exit. And so I decided to take my gifts and talents. I had an over 20-year award-winning sales career, marketing, sales, business development, and corporate. And I decided to take my gifts and talents and become a business and sales coach in the online space. And that has evolved into helping online entrepreneurs, so coaches, course creators, and consultants, ramp up their visibility online where their audience says, Sarah, I see you everywhere, but you know that you're not online 24/7. It's just the strategies I teach. And then all of that visibility leads directly to your email list where we can convert people into buyers.
Yes, your email list it's where the buying happens and your biggest fans are going to be on there. So list building is so important. And I talk to people every day who haven't even started building their list.
Me
So
too.
let's start there. Let's start
Yeah.
with the people who, let's say they were like you and me, pretty much every entrepreneur, where you
Right.
were working corporate and you got fed up with it, decided to start your own business, and now you're starting from scratch, building your list.
Right.
So where's a good place to start?
A great place to start is to decide what platform you want to be on and go all in on it. A big mistake I see people making is trying to be on all the platforms. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, if that's still a thing, Threads, you name it. And they exhaust themselves. So in order to ramp up your visibility, we've got to create enough content each week in, week out with consistency and stick with it. And we can't do that if we're trying to be everywhere all the time and running ourselves ragged.
Yeah. So I'll get this straight. So we're starting with the wider platform, the discovery platform, before we get into the list building. So you're choosing one.
Right.
And like for me and most of my clients, that's LinkedIn. For you, it's Facebook is
Yes.
your primary one.
Right.
And so let's go from there. You choose
Sure.
a platform
Mhm.
that you're comfortable with hanging out on. So, how do you convert your followers, your fans into a subscriber?
Great question. We have to create enough content every week to be consistent, to get the favor of the algorithm, to get the visibility, to attract our ideal clients to us. And so that's a foundational piece that I teach. There's a strategy I teach where you can map out 90 days of social media content topics. It only takes about 30 minutes, but it allows you to take one topic per week, focus your content for the week on that one topic, and then be done with it. The next week, you take the next topic. And that allows my clients and students to have enough content each week, making sure their marketing messaging is on point, and also making sure that content leads to their email list. So we do need to have a couple of free lead magnets. We do need to have top of funnel strategies like a podcast like this. This is perfect. I have a free Facebook group that grows my list by hundreds of people every single month. That's a great top of funnel strategy for me. I also have a podcast, but as long as all of that is dialed in to lead to their email list. So we want our podcast episodes in the audio to have a call to action to your list, in the show notes to have a call to action to your list. That's something that some people miss. They forget about
Right.
it. When I go live every Thursday at 11:30, I need to make sure that I've got a call to action in that live.
Yes.
And so we start with the pick the platform. Be sure you have a system every week to create enough content to be consistent on the platform, and then calls to action that lead to your email list.
Yes. Let's talk about potential freebies that
Mhm.
work really well for this because when you're starting out on building your platform at first, they're going to be fairly passive followers. They're not going to be raging fans of yours. So your freebie has to be really freaking good to get them to submit their email. So
Right.
where do you suggest people start there?
I like for the first couple of free lead magnets that I help my students create, I like for them to pertain to their larger offer, their paid offer, because we
Mhm.
want to bridge the gap between awareness when they're just seeing them and they're seeing the freebie to warming them up, getting them on the email list, and warming them up to the paid offer. For example, one of my paid offers is my 8-week group coaching program, Business Visibility Made Easy. I teach my over 10 strategies for visibility and list growth in that program. And so I have a free lead magnet because one of the strategies that I teach is how to dial in your social media profile, specifically for Facebook, and make it a list growth funnel for you. And so I have a freebie that talks about how to max out your personal profile so it leads people to your email list because that's part of my program. I
Thank
also
you.
have another freebie about navigating free Facebook groups, even the ones that don't allow promotion of any kind, and how those, coupled with your personal profile being dialed in, can lead to your email list growth. So I've got
Yeah.
the freebies that pertain to the paid offer.
So that's really great. Let's talk a little bit about how you're reverse engineering it. You're looking at your offer
Mhm,
and then stepping backwards. What are people going to need first in order to be ready for that offer? So for you, that is the Facebook groups. Like, how do you utilize them to be able to grow your audience and how to maximize your profile.
mhm,
So those are awesome, and that makes complete sense for me. I tend to go with a lot of events because my program it's a lot of face-to-face time with me and trainings, and I also have found just from switching from audio only podcast to video podcast that showing your face matters so much more than
mhm.
I realized a couple years ago
Yes,
because, like, it helps them see, like, who you are, what you get excited about, and just your general energy. Would
yes,
you want to work with someone who is like you? So I
yes,
always like for my own clients inside the Tiny Marketing Club to suggest let's add some sort of video element to your freebie so they
yes,
get a taste of what your personality is like
yes.
and pull them in, see if there's a vibe there.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. In fact, that's how I ended up with so many lead magnets. I did a 90-day sprint a couple of years ago because I've been going live every Thursday at 11:30 for years. And one of the people that I follow said that she had developed a free lead magnet for every podcast episode for a 90-day period, as an experiment. And I thought I could try that. And so what ended up happening though was something really cool, exactly what you said. So I could do my live training on what do you need to do to your Facebook personal profile to make it grow your list. Then I put a checklist with it, package that up. I've got a short video and a PDF checklist. That's way more powerful than just a PDF checklist.
Yeah, and it's easy too.
Yeah.
It's easy to create. You can use your transcript from the episode
Mhm.
to create most of these things. I do this for one of my done for you clients
Mhm.
where every single virtual event we do for her, we create a handout that goes with it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a lot of time because I have the transcript of all the geniuses who are talking in that panel
Yeah.
to be able to create it from.
I love it.
So, what was your experience with creating a new one every single episode? Was it worthwhile?
I feel like it was because just for the reason that you said, video is king. Live video is really king because the algorithm loves it, and we can actually reach beyond the people that are connected to us already to attract new people. But I feel like my lead magnets, they go deeper, they're juicier. People can, just like you said, people can tell right away whether they like me or not, whether they like my style. And it was a little exhausting, I got to say. I've asked
Yeah.
myself, what the heck was I thinking? But I went from having 2 to 3 great lead magnets to now I think we have 15 or so in that sprint. And so it allowed me also to rotate those on social without feeling like I'm giving out the same thing all the time.
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to point out. Once you do this, you have a library that you can
Yes.
pull from, and then you can mix and match it depending on whatever you're talking about during
Right.
that.
Exactly. Yeah. Cause we just recently changed this strategy in the last 2 to 3 months. For the last several years, I was using the same graphic, pretty much the same copy for every lead magnet. And it dawned on me over the holidays, I was like, "It's like that yellow sticky note that you put on your bathroom mirror, and after a while, you can't see it anymore." And I thought,
Yeah.
I'm worried that my audience has grown tone deaf and thinking, "Oh, I've seen that before. I've seen that before. I've seen that before." And so we've switched up the graphics. So for each lead magnet, we have 2 new graphics and 2 pieces of social media copy, so we can rotate those as well. And then we'll just
Yeah.
pull those and put them out there. And so hopefully that'll get some renewed interest.
Yeah, that is a good idea for the done for you clients that I have, that we do something similar where we just have a pack of templates
Yeah.
for that particular client just to rotate it. They all have the same feel to it, but they're not exactly the same. That does get You're right, that you just look past it after a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, okay. So, we talked about high level. You need to find the platform
Mhm.
that you wanna be on, and then you need to optimize your profile to be able to grow your list. Do you have any We didn't get into this then, but do you have any advice on what people should include in their profiles to get more people downloading?
For sure. Specifically on Facebook, you want to maximize every nook and cranny that the platform gives you. So when you are looking at your personal profile and you're in edit mode, look at your intro section that's right underneath your photograph. Make sure that it says exactly, very quickly, and you know this because you're a marketing person, Sarah.
Mhm.
We can't be clever, we've got to be clear, and we've got to
Yeah.
say who we are, who we serve, how we serve them, and then maximize every little spot they give you, every link you have. And this goes for every platform that you're on. If Instagram is your jam, I want you to look at what does the Instagram platform give me to put in my profile and make sure that it's clear, not clever, that people can instantly land there and go, "Oh, she's for me," or "Oh, she's not for me," because we want to
Mhm.
repel as much as we attract. And so even if you're over on LinkedIn, I want something in that about section that talks to the customer journey, that talks to the people about what I'm going to do for them. And then something that leads very easily to my list, like in the featured section and things like that. So you really have to look at what platform you're on, what nooks and crannies do they give you, and then make sure you have them dialed in so people know immediately and there's an easy way for them to connect with you because people will not try to solve the mystery of Tracy Beavers.
That is true. If you don't make it easy, they're gonna find someone else that does.
Exactly. Nothing gets my goat more than meeting somebody really cool or seeing somebody in a free Facebook group and they've posted something really cool. And I'm like, oh, they could be a great collaboration partner. Or, oh, I might need to hire that person. And I go to their Facebook personal profile and the about section says no workplaces to show. I'm like, what? Okay. There's no links. There's no way for me to, and there's certainly not a place for me to land on their list. And I'm like, I'm out. That's it.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just too
done.
much work. Someone else
It,
wants me more.
and the other thing is, it makes me question how serious are they about their business?
Yeah. Yeah, and so I wanna get into a little bit about that preferred platform that you want to be on.
Mhm.
I teach the same thing. Just choose one and be there.
Yeah.
However, for all of the other profiles, it's beneficial to grab them, get your
Mm.
username
Yes.
on them,
Yes.
and fill out that profile. You get the
Mhm.
SEO juice from it, and as you were saying, maximize it. So
Yeah.
those pinned posts on all of the platforms that you don't use,
Mhm.
make sure that they do a lot of the heavy lifting. Where can people find you? What is your freebie?
Right.
And who do you serve?
Right. Yeah.
So grab
Totally
them,
agree.
save them, make sure it's clear where you actually spend time. So they're not like, where are they?
No, I do love that because people wanna follow you in the platform that they like.
Yeah. And it might not necessarily be the one that you prefer.
Exactly, for sure. And you can take the content that you created and throw it over onto those other platforms. Change it up a little bit for each platform because each one's different. LinkedIn's got a different vibe. I'm learning quickly. LinkedIn has a different
Yeah.
vibe for content than Instagram and Facebook. For example, one of the things we did early on was I have an Instagram account. Now, the only reason why I'm really on it is because I have an assistant. When I first started out, Facebook was it. That's all I could handle. And way back then, LinkedIn was a place to go when you needed a job. It wasn't like it is now.
Yeah.
So I went all in on Facebook, but one thing we did do was I created that Instagram account because I wanted to get my handle, like you're saying. And
Hmm.
then I connected the Instagram account to my Facebook business page in the Meta Business Suite. And
Yeah.
so when we go up to Instagram to post, it drops into the Facebook business page. So I'm repurposing that content. I'm also getting a 2 for 1 there by doing that.
Yeah. I would still say set expectations with your audience if you are repurposing your content across platforms because you might be getting DMs, comments, and not see them because that's not your primary platform. So just
Yeah.
being super clear, I don't hang out here.
Right. Exactly.
Here's some stuff for you.
Right. This is not where you're going to find me.
I appreciate the comment, but I'm not going to see it. Okay. So we have our primary platform, optimizing it so more people are signing up for your whatever your freebie happens to be. Let's
Mhm.
talk a little bit about the lives. So, what is your best strategy to list build with your lives?
Definitely having a call to action that leads to the list in some way
Mhm.
and making it easy on people. Sometimes if I have a lead magnet that pertains to what I'm talking about live, that's a great call to action to use. So for example, early in 2025, I was talking about mindset because some of us spent way too much of 2024 talking crap to ourselves. And so I did a live training about that. And I have a less than 1 minute exercise that helps you rewire your brain for success. So that lead magnet made a lot of sense to put with that live training. But sometimes I don't have a freebie that corresponds to what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
there, join my free Facebook group is a great call to action. Because of the way I have the membership entry questions set up, people want to give me their email list when they come join my group.
Yeah.
Or I could use my podcast because just like you, we use a call to action in the audio that leads to your email list. Put the call to action in the show notes. That's a great top of funnel strategy and a great lead magnet.
Mhm. You know what has been great for my list building is my meetup group.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, Meetup pushes out my events to anybody who'd be relevant. So, I'm getting new people in my group every single week without having to promote any of it. And I have access to their emails too. They get plenty of events, but I can repurpose that because the events that are meant for them can also be sent to Tiny Marketing Club members
Hmm.
or reused on LinkedIn or YouTube.
Nice. That's a great strategy.
Yeah, so don't sleep on Meetup. Okay, is there anything that we are missing in terms of list building? We have our high level, discovery level platform, and
Hmm.
we're bringing them in with freebies. What
Hmm.
now?
Just make sure your personal profiles, wherever you are dialed in for list growth. And don't sleep on Facebook, I would say, because Facebook groups where your ideal clients are hanging out, that is a gold mine of marketing
Mhm.
opportunity. You don't have to do anything other than show up and be yourself. Answer questions where you can answer them, cheer somebody on. And with my strategy, because of the way I've got my Facebook personal profile dialed in, 85% of the people that come to join my free group, I don't know them and I haven't invited them. I haven't had to have an awkward, weird DM where I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Sarah, you wanna come join my group?" It's it's me showing up and being visible in the groups where they're hanging out, and they're seeing me, and they're seeing my heart, they're seeing my expertise and the way that I answer questions, and they want to come into my world. It's attraction marketing, that pull
Yes.
strategy that I love so much. I will say that having authentic conversations in the DMs can lead to list growth as well. And you know this because of your meetups and networking that you do. We never know where the next connection is going to lead.
Yeah. So similar, I'm not on Facebook, but I have a similar funnel to you where it's niche communities like Slack groups, circle groups, things like that, where I am finding my people because I'm joining groups where people who would need me would be hanging out. And then I'm adding value there and they're moving over to LinkedIn. So it's super similar, just different platforms.
Yeah. I just want people to think through the activities they take every day, whether they're creating content or they're going to be a podcast guest or they're going to go live or they're going to go into a free group or they're going to do a virtual networking session or an in-person networking session. I want them to think through how can what I'm about to do grow my email list.
Yeah, I love that. Keep that in mind always because there is very likely in anything that you do a way to convert someone to your email list.
Yes.
Let's talk about what happens once you convert.
Okay.
So you're converting them through LinkedIn, Facebook groups, Meetup, maybe.
Mhm.
And then what? What should be the first email that they receive?
Yeah, that's a great question. For a long time, I avoided having a welcome sequence. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I thought, I'm just gonna email people. And so I changed that structure not too long ago. So when somebody opts in for one of my freebies, they're gonna be put into a short welcome sequence. It's 3 emails that
Mhm.
talk about who I am, a little bit about my personality. There's a picture of me in foils all over my head at the hair salon getting highlights done because that's just me. That's my personality. And then also there's another email that talks about my program and what I teach and why I teach it. And so that's the first thing that somebody's going to get. And until they're through that, they don't go into my regular email list. But when you're through that process, my cadence for emails is to email on Tuesday and then again
Me
on,
too. Oh, fun.
but I make it easy on myself. So I've been going live every Thursday at 11:30. I choose to use that live topic as my email content. When
Mhm.
I email you on Tuesday, I go, "Hey, Sarah." I say something personal about me. Hope you had a great Easter holiday weekend, whatever. I'm typing this in sipping my coffee, wearing my mismatched pajamas, whatever. And then I'll say, I'm going to go live on Thursday. Here's the topic. This is what I'm talking about. Give some teaser content about it and a link to join me. And then Thursday, I actually send out I'm going live in 30 minutes, like a 30-minute warning email just to remind
Mhm.
people. And then on Friday, the email is, "Hey, did you miss the live training? No problem. I got you," with some personal stuff from me as well. And then a fun way for them to reply back. I've really been working on having my audience reply back to help my
Yeah.
email delivery.
That's my favorite thing too. I always add in questions, some sort of prompt to get people to reply because I want to have a conversation with
Mhm.
my people. I don't want it
Yes.
to be one way.
I know, and but so not only does it help the email delivery rate and keeping you out of the spam folder, but just like you said, it's so fun to hear back from
Yeah.
people. And I've had people go, "Is this really you that's replying to me?" And I'm like, "Yes, this is really me." You
Yeah.
know?
I literally say in my email, I promise you it's me replying back
Right. Yes.
when you send those emails.
I love it. Yes. Me too. They're like, "Is this really you?" I'm like, "Yes, it's really me. Can't you tell by the typos and the
The typos are the dead giveaway.
the made up words?" And yeah.
Yeah, I'm on my walking pad, so I have typos in every other sentence when I'm writing back.
Yeah, walking pad typos are a thing.
Yes, they really are, 'cause I'm always doing my inbox maintenance while I'm on my walking pad, so
Yep.
uh, that's just something you're gonna have to live with. Okay. Oh, I wanted to go a little bit into my welcome sequence.
Yeah.
It's similar to yours. I
Mhm.
have my first it's 3 also. My
Mhm.
first email is a little gifty. So, some sort of giveaway that they didn't get
Mhm.
originally, they didn't download. Here's another present. The second one is oh, and there's, like, strategy behind that too because if they see there's a gift in there, they're gonna more likely open it and click on a link which tells their email provider, "Safe person." I
Yeah.
wanna receive email from them. And then email 2 is a digital tour. So I take them on a little tour of all of the places I hang out online and how they can follow along.
Love it.
And then 3 is about what I do.
Yeah, I think that's
So pretty
great.
similar.
I like the digital tour. I think that's cool.
Yeah, and it has a little rock and roll, like, tour bus gift in there.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
All right, so we know how to get people on our list now. We
yeah.
know where to find them, and we know what email to send first. Is there anything else that our audience should know about list building?
Consistency and patience. That's the just remember that because
Yeah,
it's gonna feel I teach organic strategies primarily because paid ads were a major thousands of dollars fail for me. I have clients that run paid ads and have great success. They have different audiences than I do. But
yeah,
and it
I feel
kind of
like it works for digital products better.
or like my clients that are long arm quilters, I was helping them with their online businesses. They can get leads for 25 cents that are actually really good leads.
Maybe
But
because it's so niche.
I think so.
So
I
it's
think it
very specific people looking for that.
It is, yeah. Definitely not the expensive coaches and course creators that you and I are marketing to. Mm.
We're all trying.
Right. But with organic strategies, and you know this, Sarah, because you've been in marketing for so long, it takes consistency and it takes patience. The efforts we put in now will pay. Like when I was in corporate, the efforts I would put in Q1 would start to pay off, or in January would start to pay off in like March, April, Mayish.
I It's funny because I always tell people there's 90-day turnaround. Something that you start, you'll see the results in 90 days. Something you stop, you'll see that it was a fail and that you should have
You
kept
should have kept
going
going.
90 days.
Yes, exactly right, and I think I'm wondering if it's longer than that, though, in the online space. It used to be 8 to 12 touches when I was in person in sales, 8 to 12 touches before somebody would start to pay attention, and I think it's more than that now. You know
Yeah, as far as attention, that's a whole other thing than your efforts panning out. That's hard to say, like, how
Yeah,
long it would take them to go from passively following you to a fan.
and then to a buyer, for sure.
Yeah,
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 but just having that consistency and that patience and not worrying so much about the results, but focusing on the activity that is going to drive the results you want.
mhm.
'Cause there's gonna come a tipping point where the list growth is gonna start to take off, especially with the strategies that I teach. I've got 10 of them, and when we put them into play and layer them in the proper order, that list starts to grow automatically every day in the background of your business, and so I don't have to focus on list growth. I just focus on the strategies and the daily activities that are gonna get me the list growth.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. There's 1, maybe 2 other things that I wanna add to this
Sure.
discussion for list building. When I started out, borrowing other people's audiences was the biggest benefit. It was like a growth hack.
Yeah.
So anytime that you could do a webinar swap
Yes.
for a podcast
Mm.
and get in front of someone else's audience, your my list would grow by hundreds every time I
Yeah.
did that.
Right.
And that was when I was starting out and nobody knew who I was. They just had the experience of seeing me do a webinar for the audience of so and so product.
Mhm.
And that worked out really well. What was the other thing? I had a second thing that worked really well. It was in my brain and now it's gone. Oh, I remember. Okay. So it's when you are borrowing someone else's audience and you
Yeah.
have a paid, like micro offer, something that's generally less than $100, offering 100% promo code on it,
Nice.
that people are tying value to it. So
Mm.
they're much more likely to download it than something free.
Yeah.
And having that, 1, limited time opportunity means they're gonna do it fast, and 2, you can use a promo code that's tied to the show
Yeah.
or the community that you're doing it to, so you can attribute it and you know which communities make sense for you to continue collaborating with.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a great idea.
Yeah, that has worked really well for me, and I share freely, steal it, all of you.
Love that.
All right, how can people connect with you and
Mhm.
work with you?
So, they're listening to this podcast, so I'm assuming that they love podcast shows. I have one called Create Online Business Success. It's so fun. I love it. And it is my live that I do every Thursday at 11:30. We just repurpose the content into the podcast. So I'd love for them to follow me there. Also, if they love Facebook like I do, come to my free Facebook group. It's called Be a Confident Entrepreneur, Get Visible, Grow Your List and Your Income. The thing that makes my community different is that it's not a spam fest, but everybody is allowed to promote their offers when they need to. Not
Mhm.
worrying about, can I put a link here? Do I need to ask permission? No, go ahead and do it. And that we have so many experts on every single topic. So if there's a member that's stuck on something specifically like tech, gracious, they can ask for help with the tech problem, and another member is going to swoop in and help them with it. It's a
Yes, that's
really beautiful
awesome.
community.
You love all things tiny marketing, head down to the show notes page and sign up for the wait list to join the Tiny Marketing Club, where you get to work one-on-one with me with trainings, feedback, and pop-up coaching that will help you scale your marketing as a B2B service business. So I'll see you over in the club.